society has become accustomed to cell phones, computers, and the internet. They can find any information within seconds and talk to each other from anywhere. With the ability to communicate and find information instantly, it is important that students are aware of the effects these abilities have on their lives. The millennial generation is the most ethnically and racially diverse generation. They are digital and technology oriented. According to Molina and Lattimer at the School of Leadership and Education Sciences at the University of San Diego, it has become increasingly clear that as the world is becoming more and more interconnected, our schools need to prepare students to work effectively in a global society. Yet, not all schools have the tools to implement some of those ideas into their curriculum. They define global education as the understanding of cultures, the differences in cultures, and also the way all cultures blend together. It is the way in which the students are not only able to understand the components of culture, but understand the ways in which they are unique in their perspectives. The goal for ensuring that students not only understand the differences, but also the similarities, is to provide them with the tools to engage with the global community. As a teacher, you can provide students with instruction that allows them to interact with different forms of technology and learn about diverse groups of people. In order to be a part of the global world, students need to have the tools and skills in order to engage with others. Technology allows students to connect with other people from all over the world. The more they know about people around the world, the better they will be able to relate with and communicate with them. Also, in order to communicate with diverse groups, students need to develop communication skills. They need to be able to deal with civil discourse without being polarized. According to Kimberly Crosby from Lyon College, educating 21st century students to participate in reasoned civil discourse is a moral imperative. A strong democracy depends on the ability of its students to adhere to and consider opposing views, to view others as partners rather than adversaries, to cooperate and compromise when addressing important issues, to collaborate in order to accomplish shared goals and solve problems, and to communicate skillfully and respectfully as a means of building a consensus. These democratic habits of thought and behavior are unlikely to develop without careful, intentional nurturing. Teachers must create democratic classrooms in which students learn how to develop effective and respectful relationships, how to think critically about ideas, how to make reasonable ethical choices, and how to communicate civilly with those understandings or opinions different than theirs. In order to do this, students must be encouraged to discuss ideas, complete group work, debate ideas, and be allowed to make choices depending on age and reasonability. My field educator was unable to be present in this video due to an illness, but I have sent her questions I prepared and she has provided me with the answers. The first question I asked of her was, how do you meaningfully include technology in your instruction? Her answer states, I meaningfully include technology in my instruction through the use of online communication tools, research-based projects, and when presenting information to students. I use the Remind app to send announcements and post classroom updates. Parents and students can send messages on there if they have any questions or concerns. It's like this because the notifications go straight to their email or phone. I also use Google Classroom, which students like using because all of their assignments and grades are on there. Students are also able to complete many different research-based projects throughout the year. Students can use technology to research their topic and can create a presentation, recordings, podcasts, PowerPoint, or direct video. They enjoy choosing and creating their own presentations. Also, when I'm presenting, I try to use a mix of technology, direct instruction, and guided and independent practice. I find that the variety of instructional practices reaches all learners. The second question is, how do you promote collaboration in the classroom? Her states, students are expected to engage in conversation and collaboration in their groups when working on group work. I also use the turn and talk strategy to allow students to turn to a partner to discuss an idea quickly. I also assign group and partner projects so that students can work together respectfully to create something. There are clear expectations set in place for group and partner discussion. And the final question I asked her was, how do you promote the idea of global citizenship? Her answer states, global citizenship is promoted through discussions about different cultures, diverse groups, and discussing things that are going on in the world today. It is important that students understand their place in the world and have the tools to navigate it. We discuss ideas in the classroom, and I like to promote and share differences. I also like to affirm our differences when possible. We discuss how our lives compare to others and think about what it would be like to live in different places. Technology is also included in global citizenship, and students are instructed on how to navigate the internet and communicate with and understand different cultures and ideas that they may find. In order to create a classroom environment where all students acquire the skills they will need for future employment in a global world and become more adept at civil discourse, I plan to use the ideas that my field educator shared with me. Technology collaboration and promoting global citizenship to students will allow them to develop the skills necessary for their futures. As the world becomes more technologically advanced, it is important that students are able to navigate the internet efficiently and produce their own work. Students should be instructed on how to use technology to meet their needs. They also need to understand that there are people online who will not share the same ideas that they do, and they need to be respectful of those differences. Technology also makes instruction more interesting for today's generations and should be used in a meaningful way, not just to say that you use technology. Students need to be able to interact with it and produce their own work. Collaboration will be promoted through the use of group and partner discussion projects. Clear expectations for discussion and projects will be put in place. Students need to be respectful of each other's ideas and learn how to compromise. Those skills will be helpful for students as they get older and enter the workforce. They will be expected to work with others, some that they may not get along with, and they need to be prepared for that. Developing those skills at a young age will help make this easier as an adult. They will also need to develop skills necessary to express their ideas in a respectful manner and not be polarized by differing ideas. Lastly, global citizenship will be promoted and discussed. Students need to understand where they fit in the world and know that there are different ways of living than what they are used to. They should discuss and research different cultures and diverse groups. In class, we will discuss differences and affirm them. We will also compare and contrast our ways of living to others. Students need to be prepared for the increasingly diverse world we live in. In conclusion, students need to be introduced to differing ideas and problems. They should be able to solve real-life problems and collaborate with others. Technology should be incorporated into the lessons when meaningful, and students should be able to actually use it as well. They need clear expectations when doing these activities. Students in today's society need to be able to navigate technology, collaborate with others, and understand the differences between cultures and diverse groups.